Kia ora e te whānau, ko Bonnie tōku ingoa, and welcome to the Come Dine On Me podcast. The podcast where I sit and yap while I breastfeed. The following episode has been split into 3 parts, as it is quite the tale. So the first episode is the story of my induction of labour and how my labour went. The second episode is my actual birth story, and then the third episode is the aftermath of my birth. The first episode is really beautiful and empowering, same with the second episode. However, the third episode is quite intense and maybe a bit triggering to some. Everything turned out okay. We're all healthy and safe now, but it was a bit of a tough road. So if you are only in it for the first 2, that is so fine. Thank you very much for watching anyways. And I completely understand you have to protect your own peace and do what you gotta do. If you are interested, it is not a negative story. It's not like horrible. Nothing really bad happens. It's just a bit more intense than it was planned to be. And if that's not for you, then that's totally fine. Just skip the third episode, which will be the aftermath of my birth. So just know, if that's not for you, then just stop at episode 2 and pretend it was a beautiful, happy birth and everything went totally to plan and everything is perfectly fine. Everything is perfectly fine now. Everything did turn out perfectly fine, but yeah, we had a bit of a road to get there. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this episode. This episode is the induction story. Enjoy yourself and take it away past Bonnie.
Okay, this is a hilarious angle. I'm currently breastfeeding, so this is the angle you're getting because I can't get up to move. So you're welcome. I hope you're enjoying this. Time for the big story time, the birth story. It's quite a story. Definitely not how I was expecting things to go. In good ways and bad ways. The main point is that I'm fine now, and baby was fine the whole time, so we're good. If you're not looking for the kind of birth story that might scare you a little, or if you're looking for a super positive, everything went really well type of birth story, then probably don't watch this one. It is a pretty good one. It's not bad, but things didn't go 100% to plan. So, if that's not what you're here for, then Kate Pie, feel free to go and watch somebody else's birth story who's got a really positive, nice story. This is not quite that. It's not a bad one. Not by any means. Just could have been better. So, I had gestational diabetes, so I had to be induced. I was meant to be induced at 39 weeks, but the date I was given was my due date at 40 weeks, so honestly I'm pretty stoked about that. It meant that I got my extra week of pregnancy because I enjoyed my pregnancy. I wasn't in any rush to exit the pregnancy phase and enter the motherhood phase, just because, well, not the motherhood phase, but, the motherhood era. Because I enjoyed my pregnancy, and I have learned from other parents that, the time goes fast, so enjoy it while it lasts. So I was just enjoying being pregnant while it lasted. So I was quite happy to be induced at 40 weeks and not earlier. It also meant that she got to finish cooking, so she was as fully grown as she was going to be. So yeah, I'm stoked that I got all the way to 40. I was hoping to get to 40 weeks and not go too far over it anyway, so. And judging by the way things went, I don't think she would have waited too much longer anyway. She probably would have been coming within the next day or 2, if not on the day. So I don't think it would have made a huge difference if I hadn't been induced. But yeah, so I got my induction date, and it was my due date, and I was told to come into the hospital at 7 a.m. that morning. Which I was like, oh, yikes, that's pretty early. Because we live in Kaipoi and the hospital is in Christchurch. which is about 30 minutes-ish away from my house. So it was kind of an early morning. We had to wake up. I had to wake up about 5:30 because I needed to like get ready and like make sure that I had everything I needed. And I woke the book because my partner's brother stayed the night before. He'd been staying with us for about a week prior to that. He was meant to go home like a couple of days before just to so we could have a couple nights of just us before Here in Life kicked in, but he ended up staying the whole time and it was honestly fine. I think Jake really needed him there to just like help his nerves because he was pretty nervous. He didn't show it as much, but he was pretty nervous, so I think it was for the best. But yeah, his brother stayed with us the night before. His name is Kaz. He'll be mentioned many times throughout the story. But yeah, Kaz stayed with us the night before and woke up. Well, they pretty much stayed up all night. I think they'd fallen asleep in the chairs within the last sort of hour of the night before it was time to wake up anyways. So yeah, I woke them up about 6. So they pretty much, all they had to do really was make sure that they had their stuff, get dressed and get ready to go. I'd packed a lot of stuff. We packed a lot of stuff because I knew I was being induced and I'd been told that induction could take a couple of days. It could take several hours, it could take a couple of days. And it could be a long while before things really kicked in. So I was like, okay, well, I'll bring a bunch of stuff to do so I don't get bored because I don't cope well when I'm bored. So I brought like my Nintendo Switch, I brought books, I brought colouring stuff, I brought a puzzle, I brought card games. Honestly, I probably more. I brought a lot of stuff. I think I brought a Lego kit, like so many things. Just because I really did not want to be bored. Obviously packed my hospital bag. I packed a bag for baby when she got here. Jake had his own bag. And then I brought my teddy bears because I needed them to because I didn't want to bring my whole massive pregnancy pillow. So I just needed something to keep my hips separated and keep my boobs from crushing each other when I was lying down, especially before I gave birth, because I was still able to lie on my side. So yeah, just needed a little separation. So I'd packed the car the night before. So pretty much everything was ready to go. All we needed to do was just get our stuff together and go. We made it to the hospital. We were due there at 7 a.m. We got there at 7:03. So I thought we did pretty good. We ended up having to drive to Jake's mum's house, Jake took me and Kaz to the hospital, dropped us off there, and we went up to get the brief for the induction. And Jake took our car back to his mum's house. His mum doesn't live too far away. And then she took him back just because we didn't want to pay for parking because we knew we were going to be there for a while. And yeah, parking is expensive at the hospital. So yeah, we didn't want to have to worry about that. So it was quite funny actually because me and Kaz arrived together for the induction. They obviously assumed he was the dad. So that happens to us quite often where we're just it's just us hanging out together for whatever reason. He stayed the night before and we've gone out to breakfast in the morning while Jake's been asleep because he used to work night shift. And we were like, well, we're hungry and we want food. So we went out and got breakfast together. And yeah, while we were sitting at the table, we were both like, people definitely think that we're together. We're not. So yeah, it was quite funny. Same thing happened again. We got there and they were talking to us as if he was the dad. And he was like, no, that's my sister. And they were like, what? Okay. They were a little confused. They were, apologetic, but they were definitely a little confused. But once Jake arrived, then it sort of cleared things up a bit. But yeah, Jake got there. Hold my horses. We went up and a midwife came in and she like gave us the brief on how the induction was going to go down. So they were going to give me basically a little sippy cup shot of whatever medicine it is. I don't know what it's called, which is the medicine that induces labour. And they would be giving me that every 2 hours. So they'd come in, put me on the monitors, like the pinchy one on your finger, and they had like some strap ones around my belly to monitor any fetal movement, I think, and also, that one was for fetal heart rate, so to monitor baby's heart rate, and then one to monitor like contractions, basically. And but they put me on those monitors before they gave me the dose, and as it turned out, I was already starting to contract. I couldn't tell though, I couldn't feel it. It must have been like those tiny, tiny ones that you don't notice. But yeah, apparently I had already started contracting, so I was like, oh, good to know, we're already in business. So basically, the induction stuff was really just to speed up the process. And they said that they would do they asked if I wanted to have a cervical check as well, just to see how things were going. And I said yes, but I said I wanted to wait until my partner got there. So yeah, they went ahead, they did the monitoring, they showed us how to read the printouts. So they had like this little machine just printing out the results of the monitoring as they go, and you could see on one of the line scales, I'll put up a picture, like it's kind of like a little Richter scale basically. It shows the size of the contractions and like when they're like how far apart they are and stuff. So the ones that were at the start were pretty small and they were quite far apart. So I think I was having like one every 2 minutes or something like that. No, 2 every 10 minutes. That's what it was. 2 every 10 minutes, and I couldn't feel them. They were pretty chill. And then Jake got there, so they came in and did a cervical exam, and they said that they could already feel baby's head, which was like kind of crazy. Like they could feel that she was like pressing on my cervix, and I don't think I was like dilated yet, not much anyways. I don't think they said anything about dilation, but they said I was already reasonably effaced, like so my cervix has already started thinning out and getting ready to open. So that was cool. So yeah, I pretty much would have been in labour naturally within the day, I'd say. So I'd say she probably would have been born the next day, like the day after the day she was born, based on how far along I already was naturally. And that just depends on how long my labour would have taken naturally, but I would say that the drugs sped it up, that's for sure. But yeah, they gave me the first lot of the medicine, and I still didn't feel anything. It was pretty early, and we hadn't slept much the night before, so I'd probably had about 4 hours of sleep. They'd had about none, maybe one. So we were all pretty tired. So I think we all had a nap at that point. I definitely had a nap. Kaz didn't have a phone either, so he would either be in the room just talking to Jake or having a nap, or he'd like come in and out and go to the TV room, just like a little waiting area, I guess, or family room or something. They had a TV, so he'd go out there and watch TV for a while. So yeah, the first 2 hours passed pretty quickly. I was just sleeping most of it, I think. They gave me some breakfast. They brought me some breakfast in, which was nice. I still had diabetes, so I still had to keep up doing my blood sugars and my diabetes diet. So I accidentally oversugared myself because they gave me cereal with sugar and 2 pieces of toast with 2 different kinds of jam, like just those little puddles, like the single serve ones. And normally I wouldn't have that much sugar, especially for breakfast. In fact, I don't think I was really eating jam at all throughout the diabetes journey, because don't know if you know, but jam is literally just fruit and sugar. So yeah, I oversugared myself accidentally just because I ate the food they gave me. So yeah, when I took my next blood sugar test, because I had this like sheet that I had to keep filling out throughout the day. So every time I'd do my blood sugar, I had to put that in. And yeah, I had to let them know I'd overdone it a bit. But it was alright. Like, it wasn't killing me. It was fine. By the next meal, it had gone down, so it was okay. They came in and did the next dose, and more monitoring, and then I think I was awake for a bit at that point. And just like kind of hung out, like played on my phone. I was playing Scrabble, so I was playing Scrabble on my phone. And I was also starting my journal, my little scrapbook for baby. So yeah, I was just like starting my little journal for her about my birth story, basically. What is happening? Hey. What's happening? What's wrong? Hey. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, so pretty much the first 3 doses, I was just like chilling in the room, napping, doing a few little hobby things. Kaz was coming in and out, watching TV, coming back having a nap. At one point, him and Jake started doing a puzzle, which was quite funny because it was a was jig, so it doesn't have the picture is not the picture on the box is not what the puzzle is. It's actually like the view of what the people in the puzzle would be seeing. So yeah, they were a bit confused. They got a little frustrated at some points, but yeah, it was quite funny to listen to them trying to do that in the hospital. The midwives would come in and out and like talk to us and check on us, see how we were doing, make sure the baby was all good, check on little sheets and see how everything was going. I was progressing. I couldn't feel anything yet, wasn't feeling any contractions or anything, so I was like, I just need to like get as much sleep in as I can because it's going to be a long road, and when it gets real to the peak of it, I won't be able to sleep. So I was like, get as much sleep in as I can while I still feel okay. I think after the 3rd dose, because we'd been in there for 6 hours, I was like, okay, I think we should go for a walk. I need to like get out of this room, stand up, give it an air, stretch my legs a bit. So we went for a walk. Originally we went downstairs to go outside, but I didn't bring a jersey, and I walked outside and was like, oh my god, it's freezing, because it was super windy and the wind was really cold. So I went straight back inside. They went for a little walk, because they had jerseys, so they went for a little walk. And then I just sat inside and waited for them until they came back, and then we all went for a bigger walk around the hospital. And just like, I think we walked to the gift shop and back. And like just went into the gift shop, had a wee look around. Jake kept offering to buy me snacks, and I was like, I can't eat any of these right now. I still have diabetes, so no, I'm fine. I brought my own snacks. There was another big bag I brought. I brought a big bag of snacks. So I had plenty of food, I was fine. But then, we walked back, and pretty much as we were getting in the elevator to go back up, that's when I started feeling contractions. And they weren't like super bad or anything, but that's when I was like, oh, I can feel it now. Like, yeah, I'm feeling something. It was kind of like, people say that it's like period cramps. I wouldn't say it's like period cramps. I'd say it's like stomach ache cramps when you have a sore gut kind of thing. Like, so yeah, I started feeling like, oh, I got a bit of a sore tummy. And yeah, they were like, oh, your contractions. And I was like, yeah, I think so. So yeah, we went back up, and I think I told the midwife that was attending that I could feel them now. And they checked on the monitor and were like, yep, they're definitely getting a little bigger. That's for sure. Yeah, so I just like went back to the room, and I sort of moved myself around because I had just been lying on my back on my side. So I like was resting on my hands and knees and like had the pillows propped up so that I had a bit of an angle to me. And then the midwife came in and told us we had an upgrade, and had a room upgrade for me. I was like, oh, sweet, that's awesome. So we just moved across the hall, but the room we were in was just like a little square box, basically. It didn't have any windows or anything. And then we were moved across the ward to a way bigger room. It's about twice the size. And it had a big window with a little view over the Hagley Park across the road, which was nice. And we had a bit of natural light, which felt really good. And we could open the windows. We had a little bit of fresh air. They actually, it was quite funny. Jake and Kaz were still in the middle of doing their puzzle, so they had to transport their puzzle over without breaking it. So that was funny. But yeah, I pretty much was just told to move across, and the boys and the midwife brought all their bags over, which was good. Took them a little while, but there was a lot more room for them in that room. And there was a bit of a comfier chair for Jake to chill on, and Kaz just laid on the floor. He didn't care. But yeah, they finished their puzzle, and then we both just we all decided to have a sleep. So yeah, I got myself comfy in the bed and went to sleep for a while. Jake passed out on the recliner. He was snoring his head off. And Kaz laid on the floor, slept with his head under the little desk. So yeah, we had a bit of a nap, and then I woke up. I don't think I was asleep for that long. I woke up and my contractions were definitely a bit worse. I could feel them. Oh no. They woke me up, They woke me up to do my next dose. Because that's the thing, because they were giving it to me every 2 hours, I pretty much just had to try and sleep for the couple of hours I could in between my doses. So yeah, I slept for a while, and then yeah, they came in to let me know that I was having my next dose, and that's when I could really start feeling the contractions. They definitely kicked over at that point. I was a bit uncomfortable then. Definitely felt like I had a real stomachache at that point, and they were coming a lot quicker. I could see on the monitor that they were definitely a bit stronger and that they were coming more frequently. When I was sleeping, they'd really slowed down and I wasn't really feeling them anymore, and then I got up. Must have got up to go to the toilet or something like that. Oh, actually, yeah, I think I did. I think I got up to go to the toilet, and then that's when I was like, oh no, they're really starting to come getting out. And I started feeling pretty sore. So I came back to the room, and then that's when I texted my mum and Jake's mum to come, because we were being induced, we didn't know how long it was going to take, and I didn't want my mum or his mum to be there all day for no reason. I was like, oh no, you might as well do your thing, go have some dinner and do whatever you got to do before you come. But yeah, at that point I was like, yeah, you need to come now. It's not going to be that long, I don't think, and I think we're at the point where I need some extra support. So Jake's mum got there pretty quick. She was there within I think probably 20 minutes after maybe half an hour after we rung her to come. My mum took a bit longer because she had a bit further to come, and I think she was finishing her dinner, which is fine. I knew she wasn't coming that baby wasn't coming instantly. So she had time to get there, but I was definitely a bit oh, let's hurry this up. Where are you? Yeah, Jake's mum got there first, and when she got there, I was bent over the bed. I'd put the bed up as high as it could go, and was leaning over it and just breathing through my contractions. I'd put on my music to sing along to, and I was singing through my contractions as well, because the vocalization was really helping to manage my pain, because I didn't have any pain medication at all up till this point, at least. So yeah, I was just breathing and swaying back and forth and yeah, singing through my contractions. My mum's calling. Just hold on a moment while I answer her. Right, as you can see, it is now a different day. So as it turns out, my mum was ringing me because it was dinner time. We have Sunday roast on, well, every Sunday, and it was time for dinner. So I had to go. And then when I came back, it was dark. I was tired. I'd had enough. So here we are, 24 hours later, back here again to continue our tale. So I believe I was up to the point where I was singing through my contractions, which is ever so peaceful sounding. It actually worked really well because I am a kapahaga teacher, so I sing for a living. So I'm quite accustomed, especially while I was pregnant, to singing through my pain, singing through my discomfort, even singing through like the urge to itch or my frustration. Like, yeah, just having, firstly, because it's my job, I kind of just have to keep going anyways, regardless of what's going on. But also, it is a really good way to deal with my problems. And like, when I'm real angry or I'm having a bad day or I'm feeling really upset, then I'll, like, when I'm in my car, I'll turn my music up real loud and I'll just like belt out whatever song I'm listening to, and it really helps. So I figured that was actually part of my birth plan. My labour plan was to include music and to sing as much as I could because I figured it would probably help with my pain. And I was right, because I definitely wouldn't have been able to cope with the contractions as well as I did without that as a method of pain relief for me. So yeah, every time a contraction peaked, I would sing louder, and then that would not only help me with breathing, but also just help sort of like push through it, get it out of my body. So yeah, it was singing through my contractions was a very helpful form of pain management for me. That's when Jake's mum turned up, was when I was in the middle of my singing. And she was like really impressed. She came in, she was like, wow, I can't believe you're just sitting here standing around singing through your contractions, like, handling it like a champ. Which I felt very proud of myself, and also like really validated. I was like, thank you, I'm trying my best. Both her and my mum were quite impressed with how I handled the pain of labour, because they both thought I might be a bit soft, and that I might be, like really struggle with labour and birth, but I actually did really well and handled it like a total champ. Which they were both really impressed, especially my mum, because she knows me, and generally if I am in any sort of discomfort, everybody knows about it, and it's like, I'm kind of one of those like, ow, 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 oh, like, I'm always complaining. So, they had every right to feel that way. But I am pretty good with pain that I've chosen. So like tattoos, piercings, that kind of stuff, I've always been pretty tough. And I mean, I definitely chose to have a child. I chose to have to give birth, and I chose to do it without any pain medication until I was using the gas. So I think I did pretty well. After Jake's mum got there, she was probably there for maybe at least half an hour, maybe longer, before the nurse came back in to check on me again. And in that time, my contractions had really ramped it up. So yeah, I was leaning over my bed, like rocking back and forth, definitely like kind of vocalizing a bit through the pain, like singing through the pain, but also like, sort of those kind of things through the pain. Either Jake's mum or Jake would be like massaging my lower back, and I had a hot water bottle, so Jake kept running back and forth from the kitchen to fill that up with hot water for me, which was really nice, because I don't know if we were really supposed to be using hot water and like hot water bottles, but nobody was stopping us, so no one was actually there to stop us. So. But I needed it, honestly, I really needed it, and it was helpful. So yeah, at one point the midwife came back in, and she actually asked me to turn my music down because other patients were trying to sleep. It wasn't like the middle of the night or anything. This was probably about like maybe 7 p.m, something like that. Which I was happy to turn it down a bit, but I was also kind of like, I really need this. Like, I absolutely understand that there are other people here. Fair enough that they've asked me to turn it down, and I am happy to respect them, but like, this is also part of my, firstly, my birth plan, but also my pain management. So I don't want to turn it off, that's for sure. They didn't ask me to turn it off, they just asked me to turn it down. But I was also kind of like, I really need it. Like, I need to be able to sing at the top of my voice, basically, in order for it to be effective pain management for me. So, yeah, I was a little frustrated by that. I didn't say anything to her. I wasn't, like, rude to her or anything like that. I was kind of just like, okay. But, yeah, after she left, Jake's mum was like, who does she think she is trying to tell you to turn your music down? And I was like, I know, right. But at the same time, firstly, we were always respectful to the staff. We never ever rude to them. Secondly, I completely understood where those people were coming from, and obviously it's her job to like relay those kind of messages between patients. So I didn't begrudge her, and I wasn't upset with those people for asking for that, because if I was in labour and I really wanted to sleep and I could hear was somebody in the next room with their music blasting, I would also be like, can you please ask them to turn it down? So, I was not upset with them by any means. I was just in pain and slightly irritated that my pain management method was being limited, I guess. But yeah, that is what it is. We turned it down. But yeah, when she came in, and because she came in to ask me to turn the music down, and then she sort of realised where I was at pain wise, and then she was like, how long has she been like this? And Jake's mum was kind of like, though she didn't say any of this, but after she left, she said to me, what do you mean? How did she not know you were like this already? Like, you've been like this the whole time I've been here. Like, aren't they supposed to be monitoring you and like keeping, like checking on you kind of thing? I was like, yeah, there's coming in every 2 hours to do my meds. And usually they come in another time between then to like, just see how things are going. But yeah, I think things had just really ramped up in between the doses. So that wasn't, I don't think she did anything wrong. Like, they weren't monitoring me any less than they had been before. So, yeah, it was just another thing that I think things were just really heating up at that point. So, yeah, it was definitely a bit like, oh, wow. Yeah, we probably need a bit more active management now. And I think they did start, they came in and saw me a bit more often after that. Once they realised, okay, yeah, we're actually in active labour now. Like, this isn't just, the start of labour when your contractions are building up. It's like, yeah, no, they're hard and fast now. So yeah, she put me back on the monitor, could see my contractions. And then I think I had to have another dose anyway. So, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, when they keep giving you the medicine when you're already in active labour, you get, like, it starts to get a little bit like, oh my god, do we really need to keep doing this? Like, because you start freaking out a little bit. You're like, oh my god, it's already feeling so intense. Do I really want to keep taking the medicine and making, knowing it's going to make it worse? But at the same time, like, because I had that feeling, I wasn't going to ask them not to. But then I was like, no, because if I take the medicine, it will make it more intense, and it will make the contractions, stronger and come quicker. But it means that I'll be closer to actually giving birth, and that means that my labour will be shorter, firstly, so I won't have to do this for as long. But also, my baby will be here sooner. So I just kept going. Oh, you're right. You okay? Oh, you're so cute. I actually made these affirmation boards for my birth. So I'd made a communication board because I have autism and ADHD, and I can get I probably wouldn't describe it as non-verbal, but I can struggle to talk and like think straight when I'm quite overwhelmed. And I figured birth is probably going to be the most overwhelming thing I've ever been through, so I better make sure I can actually communicate with people. So I made this. I'll put a picture up. I made this board with like pictures of things that I might need or like request during my birth, and also like a bunch of emojis with different feelings next to them, so that if I couldn't talk, I could at least point to things so that I could talk, like communicate with my support team, so like my partner and the other people in the room with us, but also with like the care team. So yeah, if I needed pain relief and I couldn't really like put into words what one I wanted, I had a few options there. I could point at it. If I needed some water or a snack, or if I was too hot or too cold, or I wanted my music up, or I really went pretty thorough and in depth with it so that I knew that I was well taken care of. Then I could just point at stuff and make sure that my needs could still be met, because I figured I'd probably be pretty overwhelmed and it would be quite intense. If I was in the middle of a contraction and couldn't verbalize what I needed, but I needed it ASAP, then I could just point. I didn't end up actually needing to use it. I was able to I actually found during like the peak of labor, especially when I was like really in the thick of the contractions, that there was probably no way I was going to be able to move my body around much to like be able to point at stuff. So I was able to just groan out a word. Like, I wasn't very capable of using sentences, but I could say water, flannel, like too hot, too cold, that kind of stuff, or hungry, thirsty. So I was able to communicate, thankfully, and advocate for myself when I needed to. But it was really good to know that I had that option there if that was what I needed. So I'll definitely be keeping that around for my next labour just in case. But also, I feel like it's kind of a good tool to have in general, because there are times when I get too like exhausted, or if I've been really upset and I've just kind of like shut down, or I've had a really hard day, really long hard day, and I just don't have anything left in me anymore to think straight or explain myself, then I could use it, in my everyday life. So I'm definitely going to keep that around for in case of, not necessarily emergency, but just in case I need it. So I had that, and I put that up on the bed in front of me when I was leaning over the bed. And I also had I made another board with affirmations on it. So I had, like, in the middle there was a big piece of paper that said, "I'm strong, I am powerful, I am brave, I can do hard things, I am a mama." That was, sort of my keep going motivation. And then I had like a whole bunch of other affirmations on there, just little smaller ones that I stuck on there. There's a picture here, just so that I had something to like keep my focus and keep me on track when I was in the thick of it. And also, if I needed encouragement and people weren't sure exactly the kind of encouragement they needed, then they could have a look at that and, either reiterate things that were on there or take inspiration from them. And I also made another board with pictures of, I had a scan photo on there and a couple of my maternity shoot photos, my daughter's full name, and I think it says "Do it for her." But yeah, that was my biggest motivation one. I think it really, really helped me stay focused and stay motivated, especially when it got really tough. Just having, even just having her full name, that core focus to think, okay, everything I'm going through right now, and everything that I've still got left to face, it's going to be worth it because my baby's coming. I'm going to see my daughter soon. I'm going to get to meet her. I'm going to get to hold her. I'm going to get to write her name on her birth certificate, like all that kind of stuff. So I was really, that made me really excited. I remained really positive throughout the whole experience. Actually, like I really kept a good mindset. There wasn't really any time where I was like, I can't do this. There were times where I was like, I can't do this without help, or I can't do this without some pain relief. But yeah, there wasn't any time where I was like, I've gone too far. Like, what have I got myself into? Or I had no regrets at all at any point. Like the whole time, I was thinking, this is worth it. I could definitely keep going, and I can do this again, sort of thing. I'm really proud of myself for staying positive and advocating for myself and really setting myself up for success, because I did a lot of research into unmedicated birth beforehand, because I knew that I wanted to do the best I could to not use medication. I knew I really didn't want to have an epidural if I could help it, because I wanted to be able to move, wanted to be able to get out of bed if I needed to. I didn't really want to have a catheter. As it turns out, yeah, didn't get that wish anyways, but I didn't have my epidural, so. And I'm still proud of myself for that. I don't regret not having one. It was, yeah, things work out how they work out. There's really nothing you can do about it other than your best and hope for the best, and hope that you're in the best hands. And I was, so it all worked out well in the end. But yeah, as it turns out, most of the reasons I didn't want to have an epidural still ended up happening anyways, even though I didn't get the epidural. So I'm in the room. I've got my boards on the bed in front of me. I'm leaning over the bed. My partner and my mum-in-law are rubbing my back and holding the hot water bottle on my back, because I was having back labour, which was really uncomfortable. I don't know whether I would prefer front labour or back labour. I'm kind of used to having back pain, so I guess back labour, while it sucked bad, at least it was like a kind of familiar pain. I'm not sure. And I guess like it's kind of hard to massage your tummy. You can massage your back. You can't really massage your tummy. So especially when it's got like you've got a giant baby belly. So I guess maybe I'd prefer that. I don't really know, because I don't think I really did have much in the way of front labour. Like most of my contractions were very back focused. So I don't know. Maybe next birth I might have front labour and I'll be able to tell you. So I don't know. But at this stage, I'd say it sucked bad. It wasn't fun. Did not enjoy that part. I'm not sure exactly at what point, but at some point I felt like I needed to go to the toilet for a number two. And my mum-in-law was like, don't do it. I was like, no, bad idea, bad idea, bad idea. I was like, I know I'm not going to push. Like, I know I don't need to push. I can tell that I'm not, like, going to give birth right now. I can tell I actually just need to go to the toilet. And I was like, honestly, worth the risk. Because I felt like I needed to go, And guess what? I went, and I did just need to go. I didn't need to labour. Like, I wasn't giving birth yet. So I think it was a good thing I went when I needed to. Listen to my body, and I did what I needed to do. It was really uncomfortable, and I was having a lot of contractions in the toilet, and I had to get my partner to walk me there and stay in there with me and basically hold my hand, because I literally was having such strong contractions just walking across the room to get to the toilet. So yeah, that was not fun. Did not enjoy that part. That was pretty intense. But yeah, afterwards I made it back to the room. Slowly but surely I made it back. I kind of just sat there on the toilet for a while, because I was like, firstly, holy moly, going through a lot. Secondly, it felt good to just not have to worry about what was going on down there and just be able to, because when you're on the toilet, you just feel safe. Like, you feel safe to be vulnerable. You feel safe to let whatever is happening happen. So yeah, it wasn't. It was a good place to be for a little while. But once I felt like I was all good, I got back up and my partner helped me get back to the room. And I think at that point, that was when I was like, okay, I need some medication. This is too much now. So they gave me some Panadol and some codeine, which did a whole lot of not much. Not gonna lie, did not do much for me. But yeah, that was what they offered because like they said they could give me whatever I wanted, basically. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna start with the mildest option. I'm not gonna jump right in. I'll just start with the lowest tier and work my way up. So yeah, they gave me some Panadol and some codeine. To be fair, it would have taken a little while to kick in. It wasn't obviously going to kick in immediately. It didn't, so I was still very sore. And I asked them for a yoga ball and if I could have a hot shower. And they were like, of course, I'll find you a ball and we'll get you a hot shower. It took them a while to do those things, though. To be fair, I'm sure they were busy. They probably had other patients to attend to. They said they had to locate the ball and that they had to find a room where a shower was available because there wasn't one in my room, and I think they wanted to like look in a different part of the maternity area because I was in like the labouring part. So I think they had to look in like birth suites. I'm not really sure, but yeah. They eventually found me a yoga ball. I'm pretty sure that it was not until after my next dose of medicine that they found me the yoga ball. But they finally did, thank God. Because at that point I was like, I really need something else besides the bed to be on. Like, I really just need, when you just know what your body needs? I just knew that my body needed something mobile, soft, and like malleable to sit on. And like move around on. So when they finally gave me the ball, I was like, oh, thank God. So I sat on the ball and was like rocking back and forward and like doing hip circles and yeah, sort of just trying to move myself around as much as I could to ease the pain, but also to help sort of like encourage baby to be in the right place. She was already in the right position when we arrived, so I wasn't too worried about that. But just let her know, yep, we can move down now. Like, you can get ready to come out. And then at some point, that was not doing it for me. So I sat on my partner's lap for a while, and he sort of did a bit of massage and a bit of counter pressure to help me out while I was going through my contractions. And like all the while, Kaz is just sitting at the desk colouring in. It's so funny. There's pictures of it. You can see me in the background, like breathing through my contractions, and then he's just colouring it. It's very it's a nice picture of how things were going in my labour. And there's actually a really nice photo. It's not actually a nice photo, isn't like I look good, but it's a very joyful photo of me like laughing while I'm sitting on Jake's lap. Because things are, it's just a depiction of how things were going in my labour. Like, it was a really positive experience. Yes, things were tough. It was not easy. It wasn't easy. And it was sore, but there was still so much joy and laughter and singing and colouring in. Like, there was a lot of love and happiness going on. Before I got the yoga book, actually, my mum got there. So I think that would have been in between the time when I was in the toilet and when I got the yoga ball. She arrived. And she was like, oh, wow, things are really, hitting the ground running. I was like, yep, they sure are. So she kind of just was there for moral support at that point. Like, wasn't a whole lot that I needed her to do really yet. I did ask her if she could message my midwife because the hospital had said that they would contact my midwife when she needed to come. but I was like, I just wanted to be here. Like, when's she gonna come? So I asked Mum if she'd give me message her. And she said something like, I think baby's gonna be here tonight. Like, things are really heating up. And she just, I think she just like love how I reacted and said like that's exciting or something like that. Like she definitely didn't make like any commitment to be coming anytime soon because she obviously had to wait until she was contacted by the people who were supposed to contact her. But yeah, I was just like, honestly, once Sammy gets here, I'm going to be so much happier. At some point after my mum got there, I was hungry and I decided I wanted to try and eat something. But as it turns out, when you're in the throes of contractions, it's quite hard to eat. So I was a bit annoyed with myself for not having eaten more beforehand. Like, I had eaten a decent amount. I'd eaten breakfast. I actually had 2 breakfasts because I'd eaten my own breakfast at home and then the breakfast that they gave me when I got there. And then and then I'm pretty sure Jake got McDonald's as well. Yeah, he did. He got us McDonald's. So that was before we changed rooms. So I ate some McDonald's before we changed rooms. And then I had whatever lunch they provided as well. I don't remember what that was, but I remember that they did bring something. I think it was just a sandwich or something. I don't know, I can't remember. But yeah, I had eaten, and I had brought my own food too, and I think I'd had some snacks as well. So I did eat, like I did my best, but you know, when you're in hospital all day and you're in labour, like your body's kind of going through a lot. I'm sure you're probably burning a lot of calories. So yeah, I was freaking starving. So I tried to eat, and I got like 2 crackers down, and that was all I could manage. I think I tried to have a banana. Not sure if I don't think I ate the whole banana. I think I might have had a few bites. I was just so sore. I just couldn't eat anything. It was making me feel sick. Like, I was in so much pain that I was feeling uncomfortable and feeling kind of sick. Like, it was the same sort of pain as if you've got a stomach bug. So yeah, I really wasn't feeling good. But that was a real shame because I was very hungry and I really wanted to have some food while I still could, sort of. Because I knew obviously it's only going to get worse from here, and I don't know how long it's going to be until I actually give birth. So, you know, you want to make sure that you're well fueled up for the road ahead. But yeah, that was the best I could do. I got 2 crackers down and maybe some banana, and that was all I could do. So yeah, I just remained hungry, which sucked. But yeah, then they finally came back and said that they'd found me a shower room. I was like, thank the Lord, because I really need some hot water therapy, honestly. So, you know, got my stuff together, and Jake took me with the midwife down to the room with the shower, which wasn't that far, but it felt like a long walk. But it was realistically like out the door and down the hall, like maybe 20 metres down the hall. But yeah, I walked really slowly to get there and had several contractions along the way. By that point, my contractions had really, really ramped up. Like, they were really strong. Like, I couldn't walk through them anymore. I had to stop every time I had a contraction. And like, you know, deep breaths. And I, you know, was kind of like moaning quite a bit, and I was starting to get a little bit like my breathing was getting quite hard to maintain, and I was starting to get a little panicky. I'll be honest, like, just from the pain. So I was really glad to be heading to the hot water. I was like, oh god, I can't wait to get in there and just like run the hot water on my back, and just stand there in the heat as long as I could. Lo and behold, literally the second I walked into the bathroom, I was like, I just felt a leak. And my waters had broken.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. The next episode will be out in 2 more weeks, so I will see you then. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share the video, turn on your notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Ka kite te whānau.